Looks like I am live. Hello there. How's everybody doing today? I can already tell I'm going to have an echo, so bear with me 1 second. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Let me know if anybody is out there. Let me know if you can hear me, please. I'm not sure what's going on, but oh, my volume should be fine. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna go through it just like nothing's wrong, okay? And hope for the best. This is chapter 6. Hello, I am Lisa Marie. So happy to be here with you today. I am super pumped after my trip from Nashville. I just was surrounded by amazing people. It was so cool and life-changing for me in a lot of different ways. In fact, coming back home, I just got home this morning and really early in the morning, like 2 a.m. But it's chapter 6 today, How Riches Come to You. And it's kind of ironic because of some of the things that I was awakened to over the weekend. And I will talk a little bit about that after I'm done reading chapter 6. So yeah, this could be quite interesting to see how in depth I go here. I just got to go with the way I'm feeling, and that's all I can do. So I'm going to read chapter 6 first, and then I'm going to talk about it a bit, God willing, and this thing works. I'm not sure why I don't. It looks like I'm frozen on my end, but let's just go. Okay. When I say that you do not have to drive sharp bargains, I do not mean that you do not have to drive any bargains at all, or that you are above the necessity for having any dealings with your fellow men. I mean that you will not need to deal with them unfairly. You do not have to get something for nothing, but can give to every man more than you take from him. You cannot give every man more in cash market value than you take from him, but you can give him more in use value than the cash value of the thing you take from him. Okay? The paper, the ink, and the other material in this book may not be worth the money you pay for it, but if the idea suggested by it bring you thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, this book was written in 1910, so thousands of dollars is not much these days, so we're going to increase that to at least hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have not been wronged by those who sold it to you. They have given you a great use value for a small cash value. Let us suppose that I own a picture by one of the great artists, which in any civilized community is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I take it to eBay and by salesmanship induce an Eskimo to give a bundle of furs worth $500 for it. I really have wronged him, for he has no use for the picture. It has no use value to him. It will not add to his life. But suppose I gave him a gun worth $50 for his furs, then he has made a great bargain. He has use for the gun. It will get him many more furs and much food. It will add to his life in every way. It will make him rich. When you rise from the competitive to the creative plane, excuse me, I'm a little dry. You can scan your business transactions very strictly. And if you are selling any man anything which does not add more to his life than the thing he give you in exchange, you can afford to stop it. You do not have to be anybody in business. And if you are in a business which does beat people, I am just spitting all over myself. I'm sorry. I'm dry and now I'm spitting. So there you go. Let's see. You can afford to get out of it. Stop it at once. Give every man more in use value than you take from him in cash value. Then you are adding to the life of the world by every business transaction. If you have people working for you, you must take from them more in cash value than you pay them in wages. But you can so organize your business that it will be filled with the principle of advancement, and so that each employee who wishes to do so may advance a little every day. You can make your business do for your employees what this book is doing for you. You can so conduct your business that it will be a sort of a ladder by which every employee who will take the trouble to climb to riches himself, and given the opportunity, if he will not do so, then it is not your fault. And finally, because you are to cause the creation of your riches from formless substance, which permeates all your environment, it does not follow that they are to take shape from the atmosphere and come into being before your eyes. If you want a sewing machine, for instance, I do not mean to tell you that you are to impress the thought of a sewing machine on thinking substance until the machine is formed without hands in the room where you sit or elsewhere. But if you want a sewing machine, hold the mental image of it with the most positive certainty that it is being made or on its way to you. After once forming the thought, have the most absolute and unquestioning faith that the sewing machine is coming. Never think of it or speak of it in any other way than as being sure that it's going to arrive. Claim it as it's already yours. It will be brought to you by the power of the supreme intelligence acting upon the minds of men. If you live in Maine, it may be that a man will be brought from Texas or Japan to engage in some transaction, which will result in your getting what you want. If so, the whole matter will be as much to that man's advantage as it is to yours. Do not forget this for a moment, that the thinking substance is through all, in all, communicating with all, and can influence all. The desire of thinking substance for fuller life and better living has caused the creation of all the sewing machines already made. And it can cause the creation of millions more, and will, whenever men set it in motion by their desire and faith, and by acting in that certain way. You can certainly have a sewing machine in your house, and it is just as certain that you can have any other thing or things which you want and which you will use for the advancement of your own life and the lives of others. You need not hesitate about asking largely. It is your Father's pleasure to give you the kingdom, said Jesus. Original substance wants to live all that is possible in you and wants you to have all that you can or will use for the living of the most abundant life. If you fix upon your consciousness the fact that you desire, you feel for the possession of riches is one with the desires of omnipotence for more complete expression. I am going to have to look that word up. Omnipotence. Okay, your faith becomes invincible. Once I saw a little boy sitting at a piano and vainly trying to bring harmony out of the keys, and I saw that he was grieved and provoked by his inability to play real music. I asked him the cause of his vexation, and he answered, I can feel the music in me, but I can't make my hands go right. The music in him was the urge of original substance, containing all the possibilities of all life. All that there is of music was seeking expression through the child. God, the one substance, is trying to live and do and enjoy things through humanity. He is saying, I want hands to build wonderful structures, to play divine harmonies, to paint glorious pictures. I want feet to run my errands, eyes to see my beauties, tongues to tell mighty truths, and to sing marvelous songs, and so on. All that there is a possibility of seeking expression through men. God wants those who can play music to have pianos and every other instrument, and to have the means to cultivate their talents to their fullest extent. He wants those who can appreciate beauty to be able to surround themselves with beautiful things. He wants those who can discern truth to have every opportunity to travel and observe. He wants those who can appreciate dress to be beautifully clothed, and those who can appreciate good food and to be luxuriously fed. He wants all these things because it is himself that employs and appreciates them. It is God who wants to play and sing and enjoy the beauty and proclaim truth, to wear fine clothes, eat good foods. It is God that works in you to will and to do. Paul said that. The desire you feel for riches is the infinite, seeking to express himself in you as he sought to find expression in the little boy at the piano. So you need not hesitate to ask largely. Your part is to focalize and express the desire to God. This is a different point with most people. They retain something of the old idea that poverty and self-sacrifice are pleasing to God. They look upon poverty as a part of the plan, a necessity of nature. They have the idea that God has finished his work and made all that he can make, and that the majority of men must stay poor because there's not enough to go around. They hold to so much of this erroneous thought that they feel ashamed to ask for wealth. They try not to want more than a very modest, competence, just enough to make them fairly comfortable. I need another drink, sorry. I think it's a changing climate. Holy cow. I came back from Tennessee, Nashville, this morning, and I'm telling you, it was so blazing hot down there. I mean, you'd walk out of the edge from the view. That's what we went to. That was amazing, beautiful. I have to talk a little bit about this, but I don't want to get off track too much. So let me go back, and I will get back to that at the end. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. This is a difficult point. Oh, I think I read that. I did. Okay. I left off with just enough to make them, everybody makes himself feel content with just enough to barely, make them comfortable. And then they feel like they are not imposing on God or not asking for too much. God does want us all to live in abundance, and there is enough for the entire world. I think once people realize that, or at least have the faith and the belief that this is absolutely true, you are going to be just on top of the moon with endless possibilities and just the world at your fingertips. And I think that is exciting. So I'm going to continue. Okay. I recall now the case of one student who was told that he must get in mind a clear picture of the things he desired so that the creative thought of them might be impressed on formless substance. He was a very poor man living in a rented house and having only what he earned from day to day, and he could not grasp even the idea or the fact that all wealth was his. So after thinking the matter over, he decided that he might reasonably ask for, maybe a new rug for the floor of his best room, of course, and an anthracite coal stove, yeah, to heat the house during the cold weather. Following the instructions given in this book, he obtained those things in just a few months. And then it dawned upon him that he had not asked for enough. He went through the house in which he lived and planned all the improvements he would like to make in it. He mentally added a bay window, a bay window here in a room there, until it was complete in his mind, and his ideal home just envisioned it. And then he planned its furnishings from there. So holding the whole picture in his mind, he began living in the certain way and moving toward what he wanted. And he owns the house now and is rebuilding it after the form of the mental image. And now, with still larger faith, he is going on to get greater things. It has been unto him according to his faith, and it is so with you and with all of us. I find this is such a cool chapter, because the very last part, I think, is really, really important, because he was envisioning what he wanted in that house. And of course, when you are thinking small, or let's just put something out there, let's just say that you're bringing home 500, or you know what, let's somebody that's on social security or disability, whichever. Okay, you are basically, for the common individual, you are basically looking at maybe $1,000 a month, anywhere up to maybe 2,000, some higher, depends on what, my husband is blessed enough to be a little bit higher than that. He had a very good job when he retired. But let's look at the average American, over 65. That is basically what they have to live on. So they live within their means, and they are not even exploring the idea of the possibilities of possibly having a bigger home or brand new furniture or whatever, a new car, or just something, something that they have to look forward to. And they are never able to think outside of that box. It's pretty hard to get a vision in your head, right? But that is exactly what we do need to do. We have to be clear about it. And when I started this part in my journey, I really had a difficult time envisioning anything. And it's because my thoughts weren't big enough, and I always had my perfect day wrote out, and it changed a little bit, not dramatically, but over just since the beginning of this calendar year, my thoughts and what I want and the vision that I have is becoming so much so much clearer, that it gives me the faith, it gives me the belief that I absolutely can do whatever I set my mind to. However, However, there are always freaking roadblocks, and you never know when they're gonna freaking pop up, right? So here's the thing. And I went back and I listened to our book club that we just had with Robert and the others. And I went back to his chapter 6 and listened again. And you know, I encourage, especially, our inner circle people, if you guys are out there, if you are watching this, I encourage you, I highly recommend to go back through our series. Do it again. I swear, because things are going to just keep freaking popping with you like they are with me. I know that they are, and they will with you. You need to do that. It's worth the time, I'm telling you. But Robert had said one thing, and it just started almost like a chain reaction. And I thought that I got it on that episode, but I didn't. I think I freaking got that over the weekend. And what I got was when Robert said cash will flow when you have a place for it to go. Okay. Think about that. You gotta have a place for it to go. And he has always told me and everybody else that follows him, I can give you anything that you want. You just have to know exactly what that is. And most of us don't know what that is. We don't. Do we have a picture? I mean, there's got to be a reason for it, and it cannot be about us. It cannot be. It's got to be about something else, something or someone else, for the greater purpose of all humanity. That's, I keep coming up with that, for the greater purpose of all humanity. We cannot bring ourselves forward dishonestly or screw somebody to get a better position or whatever. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And what did the old guy do when he was expanding on his vision, on his dream, what he wanted more for his house? You know what I mean? He started dreaming bigger, because once your mind expands or gets out of that box, it's like it can't go back in. And that is so freaking cool. That's a good thing. This is exciting to know that we absolutely can create our own future. That is just the coolest thing ever. And we can control everything in our environment by just not reacting and letting it control you. You know what I mean? Just, who cares what other people think? Who cares? Get your vision down, get it down, and get clear on it, and make it about something else or somebody else. Don't make it about you. And I had to think about this. I really did. And from that, my vision did form. I want to make our homestead into a rescue animal called Buddy's Place. And I want to hold a summer camp for orphans. And before you think I'm all over, I can see that final picture of both working together as one, as Buddy's Place. I want orphans here from 7 to 12 years old. I want to help them work on their mindset before they get out there into the environment that just totally blows people away, you know, get it into their heads. I think by teaching this book, the principles of this book in terms that a child can understand, you know, um, I I never knew about stuff like this. I didn't. That's all I got. I'll be back next week. I don't know if this went through, but okay. I'm out of here. Thank you guys. Have a great week. I wanted to talk more about the event, but I got a little off track. So um this did have a lot to do. I found it very ironic that I came home with as many ahas as I felt like I did. And it had a lot to do with this chapter. It really truly did. And it just kind of clicked for me when I was just going through it again. It's like, wow, you know what? If you are not getting this book, dang it, go through it again and again and again and again and again. It is worth it. It is so worth it. Okay, I'm out of here. Have a great night.